doing?
Good. I was leaving a retreat called the Transformational Agenda, and I had met with my significant other. He picked me up, and we were headed to have dinner with some friends and stopped at the Maplewood Walmart to get some cash back. I was approached by these officers, and it was an intimidating situation. I was in my car by myself. My fiance was in the store. It just was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable experience.
So what happened?
The officers approached me, and an officer demanded I get out of the vehicle. I was concerned about my safety more so because it's 3 officers and I'm one person sitting in the car, and things just escalated so quickly. I mean, it led to me being tasered in my car with all of these people standing around watching. I was so scared. I was so afraid, and my fiance couldn't come to my aid. He had no idea what was going on outside.
He had gone in the store.
He was already in the store when the police arrived on the scene, and he didn't get a chance to see me at all. He was arrested as well. He was arrested with me, and we were both held in jail together.
So back up just a little bit and give us some more details about that part where they tasered you. Did you have to get out of the car before they tasered you?
I was never given an opportunity to get out of the car. I was in my seatbelt for most of the time. I was sitting in the car. All I asked the officer was, did I do something wrong? What could the problem be? May I ask why I need to step out of the vehicle? Everything happens so fast. I don't want to think to myself that they walked up to the car with the intent to do something to me, but I can't rationalize it in my mind that there would be a need for 3 officers to walk up to the car and approach me at the same time. What would have happened had I decided to just blindly just jump out of the car, no questions asked? No one had told me I was under arrest. I had no idea why I was approached at all, outside of a phone call that could have been made because my fiance had a firearm on his person. But Missouri's an open carry state, and we try to be knowledgeable of the law. We do wonder if the couple who was present, who we believe may have called the police, even knew that we have open carry laws here in Missouri. So to find out that the police were called, and then to find out after the entire altercation that once the police are informed that there's a firearm present, that they can take whatever actions that they deem necessary to handle a situation. To find that out, and to have people be in support of that, but not experience what happens when they decide to do what they deem is necessary. I'm a young woman with children. I'm a mother. I'm everything to them, and I had a situation or a condition. Had I been pregnant, they never asked me anything about myself. They never asked me for my identification. Nothing. They didn't even know who I was. But immediately, I was under attack. And after I was shot with the taser, I was lifted out of the car, and that was a wrap for me. After that, it was just money. It was paying to get out of jail. Money. It was paying to get our car out of the car. Paying a lawyer to represent us. And we didn't even know what we did wrong, other than hold true to our Second Amendment rights, which is the right to bear arms. That's all we did.
So was there anything else you recall other than just the tasering that they did that would be considered a violation of your rights?
Well, all three officers were involved in my confinement. When I was approached by the first officer, my door was snatched open. He jumps in. I'm put in a chokehold. I was screaming for my life at this point. You don't just have anybody walk up to you and start putting their hands on you. And so the other officer makes his best effort to try to silence me and grabs me by my face like I'm some kind of animal and tries to close my mouth and silence me. And all of this is happening while I'm still in my seatbelt, sitting in my car. Nothing that I did was provocative. Nothing that I did warranted an attack on my person. All I asked officers is why I need to step out of the vehicle. That's all I asked. My hands were in plain sight.
In a sense, you were already restrained if your seatbelt.
If my seatbelt was on, in a sense, absolutely. But then I just was thinking to myself, like, when was I given an opportunity to get out of the car and to comply with the officers? I wasn't given an opportunity. So I don't even understand. Once I was released from from St. Louis County, why they tried to say that I didn't comply with the officers. If I'm not allowed to ask an officer why I need to step out of the vehicle, does that mean that they can do whatever they want to do, no questions asked? Does that mean that as a citizen that they are supposed to protect and serve, that I can't understand why I'm being treated a certain way, why I need to interact with them at all, especially when there are so many laws that prevent you from interacting with the police a certain way. So if to protect myself, my safety, to be concerned about my safety, I don't know these officers. I don't live in the Maplewood area, so I'm not familiar with any of the cops in the area. And to have an interaction where it's three officers approaching one woman alone in her car, in her seatbelt, and to put their hands on me in a way where it violates me and it makes me feel like I'm less of a person, when I was never told if I did anything wrong. I was never asked who I was for any identification. I was never searched for a weapon. And then to have these officers put their hands on me and then to be electrocuted, to be tasered as if I was doing anything that warranted a taser. It has us questioning the practices of the police departments. It has us questioning the mental acuity of the officers and if they are, in fact, fit to protect and serve people. If this isn't something that happens all the time, and why is it happening all the time? Why should this be normal? Why should this be commonplace? It shouldn't be. This shouldn't be commonplace. No one should have to go through what I went through that weekend. No one. And
so now, fast forward. No, it can't be fast forward. This was not that long ago, but so what? I don't know if you want to talk about what kind of problems now you're having.
On recalling the incident, it was an extremely traumatic event for me. I've always been a peaceful person. I've never been in any physical altercations, even in my family life, in my home life. I always have been just a sweet, calm person. And to have someone violate my personal space, to have someone lay their hands on me, a strange person lay their hands on me, has definitely affected me as far as being in close proximity with people that I don't know, especially with dealing with men in uniform. I went through a few weeks where I was extremely paranoid. There was a shooting in U City, a random shooting, and they've upped the police patrols in the area. So to hear sirens all the time, or to see patrol cars up and down my street, definitely makes my heart race. It makes me anxious. And then when I tell the story and when I tell my experience of what happens, it makes me shake. It makes me shake inside, and sometimes it takes its time to subside. I'm actually seeking therapy right now, and I'm going to be seeing a psychiatrist as well, just to kind of figure out a way to resolve the anxiety that I feel whenever I think about it or whenever it comes up. It did. Thank you, Justin.
We'll take his segue that he gave us, and did the attorney say anything?
Not much. I think Dacia is very articulate. Has said, has given us an overview of the story that we face. I do want to say that police brutality, excessive force in our community is done without impunity. That there is a Trayvon Martin every 26 hours in our community. Someone that has succumbed because of the overzealous policing that is done in our own communities. This was a situation where we think that the police overreacted, that they used excessive force. There's no reason to tase someone that is sitting inside of a car, that is seatbelted in and restrained. Even though an order was given for her to get out of the car, I'm not necessarily sure it was an order, and certainly she should be allowed to question. But that's the basis of our lawsuit. Before we can go forward, we have to first defend the lawsuit that has been filed against Dacia, and that is for failure to comply with a police officer, given about less than 10 seconds to do so. And secondly, interfering with the arrest by reacting to being drugged out of her car. From there, it's on to civil litigation. That would be the criminal phase. And typically it's done on all of these arrests where there's a rocky arrest. The defendant or victim is charged with some form of police brutality, assault on the police officer, something that they did that would cause them to go overboard. It's a standard routine procedure done by the police in order to dampen and to lift you out of a few dollars of your money defending yourself. Before we can get to the actual suing for the excessive force and police brutality, you have to clear yourself from that. And it's typically used as a drain. So if you see any of these cases, you're going to see where the defendant or victim was fighting back, was very similar to Rodney King. And we also, the tape on him, how he defended himself and was a madman kicking and screaming. But it's kind of hard to kick and scream when somebody's beating you with a nightjack. We're looking forward to raising the issue in our community, more importantly, to bring some attention to the fact that we as a community have to band together so we can be protected. Some of us, unfortunately, know the difference between rain and piss. And here is a situation where the police are telling us that the application of the law is equally applied, but the reality of it is that it's not.
Within the article, there will be a link to our GoFundMe site, in which we have been rallying a lot of support. It's a ton of people who are concerned about us on an individual level, and our family as well. We have 2 small children, and because of the nature of the charges, he was suspended from his job. I actually have been able to be a full-time stay-at-home mom since January, so now it's a matter of us, finding work. And when you live in a city where public school systems aren't the greatest, and private schools are extremely expensive and definitely out of our income range, homeschooling is not only a fulfilling thing, but it's something that I feel is necessary, and we can't do it without the support of everyone. We can't do it without the people who are actually concerned about what's happening to us, and recognizing that what's happening to us is happening to other people, even though they might not know how to articulate it in the same way, or it might not be the exact same situation. I mean, just to have to deal with this, we can't do it alone. We just can't do it alone, and we're going to stay positive, and we're going to stay focused, and we're going to continue to fight and to raise this awareness, because we don't want people to go through it in order to understand that it's happening. We just want them to trust that we will be enough, that us working together and us making a difference will be enough to deal with this on a larger scale, to have people who want to shed light on this story and on the situation as a whole is a help on a large scale, on a great magnitude, because it allows people to see us and to identify with us and to understand that we're just regular people living regular lives, and at any moment's notice a day could come where you could be dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with, and we don't want it to get to that point with anyone else. We want it to stop here. We want it to end here.